This is Ibiza? I took a pill there once.
Yeah. Did Avicii think you were cool?
No.
Well.
It was an ibuprofen.
You just had a mild headache. Fairfax. Is that Nova Scotia?
Why do all these colors have names?
They're just different scenes.
Oh.
Yeah, for those listening, we're trying to get the ambiance of the room right.
Ambiance.
And there's Galaxy.
Why is that Galaxy? Why is
Starlight.
it pink?
I have no clue. Blood Moon.
Ooh.
Arctic Aurora. This is one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Mountain Breeze.
I do not care for Mountain Breeze.
It's bright. Ocean Dawn. Frosty Dawn. Sunday Morning. Emerald Isle.
Frosty Dawn sounds like the sex act that Robin Scherbatsky was trying to describe.
Oh, let's find something a little more chill. I don't mind this one. Emerald Flutter.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll stick with Emerald Flutter. Okay.
All right.
Floor's yours.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the show, people. Welcome to the show.
Eat my shorts.
So here is to conversation.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
So our through line today. Your three things are salt and vinegar chips, dad jokes, and Ice Ice Baby.
Huh. Salt and vinegar chips. One of my favorites. And dad jokes. Another one of my favorites. And Ice Ice Baby.
That better not be one of your favorites.
One of my favorites.
Ew.
A song
Over,
that
under
defined a
pressure?
generation.
Dun, 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 dun.
Apparently, every time that song plays, he owes Queen money. How much does that suck?
But they're so different.
He has to take all the money he makes on Go Ninja Go to pay off Queen. Okay, let's see. Salt and vinegar chips are very polarizing.
Mhm.
You either like them or you don't.
Sure.
Dad jokes are meant to be layups. They don't take much thought.
Sure.
And Ice Ice Baby, a lyrical masterpiece that rips off one of the most popular songs ever made. You got me.
These are all things that are so bad, they're good.
Huh.
You want to know my favorite dad joke?
Shoot.
What are Mario's overalls made of? Denim, denim, denim.
That's a good one. I'll have to add that to my repertoire. Do I have to add a disclaimer that I wasn't informed of this joke from a dad?
Oh,
Do you have to put that down in the comments? That
I guess, yeah.
it's a falsity?
Well, I was told it by a dad, so I think that
Oh, okay.
it just,
So it transfers
yeah,
over.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it just skips a
Okay.
link.
So it has the proper chain of custody.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, that was a close one. Okay, yeah. Add it to the list.
All right. Things that are so bad, they're good. I love salt and vinegar chips, but also they're the worst invention. It's just two types of pain.
And it rips your mouth apart.
It rips your mouth apart, and then it burns you.
But they're so good. It doesn't make any sense.
They're so bad. They're good.
Yeah, they are.
So our bigger topic of today is so bad they're good movies. There are 1,000,001 things that I wanted to cover on this list, so there will be a list of like honorable mentions at the end because there's a lot of trash things that used to get made. And I'm, for the record, not including any of the prequels, sequels, and reboots because I think by and large they're pretty crappy.
Then how do you have anything left?
That's why I believe the newest movie that I have on this list was technically like 2023. But that was kind of a one-off. All the rest of them are from the early 2000s.
No, I think that
Wait.
I think that not prequels. I think sequels get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, way better than Batman Begins.
Sure.
Not as bad as Dark Knight Rises, though.
Well, yeah. So in that trilogy, like it's a real hit or miss. You get one good sequel and one crappy sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would still watch. I was in a hotel. This was for pleasure, not for work.
I don't like the thing your eyebrows just did when you said that.
I was in, where were we? We were in Shreveport.
Okay.
Bossier City, Louisiana.
Mhm.
I brought my Fire Stick. You know what I didn't bring?
The remote?
The remote to my Fire Stick. So I was slumming it with cable TV.
Tragic.
Oh. Anyways, after watching a marathon of the Chipmunk movies, it was 2 and 3.
The Squeakle and Chipwrecked.
I think so.
I don't like that I know that.
No, it was definitely the Squeakle. Maybe it was 4.
Road Chip?
Yes, it was the road trip one.
Mm-hmm.
So was that 3 and 4, and I missed 1 and 3? No, it was 2 and 4, and I missed 1 and 3.
I think so.
Okay. And then after that started again, they didn't show Batman Begins. They just showed Dark Knight, and then followed by The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
And then as we were leaving, we were watching Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. So maybe this is just like some weird HBO where they don't show you the original.
So whenever it was around like Christmas time, we were in Oklahoma City in a hotel room, and the only thing that we caught was Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
that a
Every time
thing?
we came back to the hotel, it was only Home Alone 2.
Is this like a known thing that HBO doesn't show originals? They just show the sequels. Are they cheaper? Oh, I'm sure they're
Well,
cheaper.
yeah.
So
No one's paying to watch. No one's paying for the streaming rights to the Squeakles.
second one holds up. Lost me on
Yeah.
the fourth one, but it was something.
Jason Lee can sell me on most things.
Speaking of Jason Lee, Dogma's coming back.
I know. I saw. I'm really excited for
They
it.
finally got
Definitely watching it in theaters.
the rights back from
Voldemort,
the Weinsteins.
he who must not be named.
So yeah, I think that there are definitely some great sequels out there that improve upon the first, but for the most part, they suck.
Look at all the ones that have been were cult classics in their original form, and then they just went to another director to do the second one, like Gremlins. Gremlins 2 is garbage. Gremlins is a classic. It's a great movie.
Wasn't Gremlins 2 like the whole thing behind it was that they went from like a horror movie to a comedy?
Yeah,
They tried to make like a family movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big sequels person. I will definitely be watching the prequels to the Hunger Games movies because, like I said, that book was really good.
Yeah.
It's time to revisit it. But other than that, I'm not a big fan. But yeah, so I don't have any of those included in my list for today. But we are starting off really strong with Battlefield Earth. Have you seen Battlefield Earth?
I've seen the memes, never seen it. I know that it stars Forrest Whitaker,
Mm-hmm.
John Travolta
Mhm.
with dreads,
Mm-hmm.
and it is loosely based on the teachings of Scientology.
It is indeed. So this is one of L. Ron Hubbard's sci-fi books.
Mm.
This is, I believe, pre-Dianetics.
Does it still have thetans in it?
It doesn't.
Are there
They're
e-meters?
silos, I think. Silox?
Huh.
I don't know. There are no thetans, I don't believe. Not from everything that I read. I did try to watch this movie, and I made it about 20 minutes in.
Isn't After Earth also Scientology based?
Is it?
I think so. Will Smith and Jaden.
Oh.
And that was another colossal flop.
No love for Spaceship Beep Boop?
No.
One of the funniest things that I found in researching Battlefield Earth, because again, could not watch more than 20 minutes of it, was that the first line of the synopsis is talking about how this is 3000 AD, and referring to it as 3000 AD feels a little questionable considering the background of the man who wrote the book.
I mean, I'm not up to date. I don't know much past what South Park has taught me about Scientology.
It's pretty solid.
But I can't imagine that Jesus makes an appearance in Dianetics.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So who was the death?
So we're out of the gate just wrong.
Wrong.
So yeah, apparently Jesus exists in this universe. The reason that I could not make it more than 20 minutes in is because if you watch the actual cinematography, I don't know why it looks like they lost a wheel on the dolly that holds the camera because the whole thing is done in Dutch angles. And it is so stressful to watch when everything is tilted.
That's a choice.
It is unbelievably dumb.
Was that at all financed by the church?
I think it was.
Or by Travolta? in between hanging out with his pilot friends.
Hanging out with his pilot friends?
Oh, you didn't know about that? No, there's lots of rumors about
Oh, I know.
something was hanging out.
Yeah. Anyway, so this movie lost $15 million in the box office. It has a solid 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. And in the briefest plot points, there's a guy who John Travolta's character decides is valuable, so he puts this beam of information into this man. The world has ended, like the aliens have taken over, and so the humans that are left are these basically like Neanderthals. They're like cave people.
Mm-hmm.
So this one guy gets this beam of knowledge transmitted into his brain, and John Travolta teaches him how to fly a plane, for the record.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Making another pilot to hang out with.
So this guy teaches all of the other cave people how to fly jets that have not flown in 1,000 years.
Since 2000.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
And these cave people fly the jets to defeat the aliens.
What do you think it's an allegory for?
I want to know what L. Ron Hubbard was smoking.
Mm.
Please don't come for me, Church of Scientology people.
Just for a point of reference, okay? What'd you say Battlefield Earth has on Rotten Tomatoes?
3.
Well, Wild Hogs has a 5.9.
God. This movie is widely considered one of Travolta's worst, which is insane, partially because of Wild Hogs, but also because he was in Drag and Hairspray.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wasn't the worst person in Hairspray because Nikki Blonsky has had a weird time
Oh,
online.
man. Did you see her most recent cameo?
Where she was pooping?
Yeah.
So, for the uninitiated, congratulations for being on the right side of the internet.
This is Nikki Blonsky.
Yeah.
It is offensive.
Cameo was a mistake.
Yeah?
Like there have been things coming out about Nikki Blonsky forever and ever. Apparently she's like super racist.
Against whom?
I don't know. That is very much a tagline that I did not delve further into because everything I've learned about Nikki Blonsky has been against my will. But she was on Cameo and she was saying, I think like happy birthday to a friend or to someone on Cameo sitting on the toilet, and you can hear her making like struggling noises. It is rough.
And I think you hear a couple drops too throughout
you do, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the interviews resurfaced from her time in Hairspray where she's talking about how, like, I think they ask her if she thinks Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens are going to get married. And she was like, no, I love Zac. Like, he's my best friend. And sorry, girl, but I don't think he's going to marry you. And it's painful to watch.
Do you think that has anything to do with Ricky Lake?
I don't really know anything about Ricky Lake.
She was in the original Hairspray.
Yeah.
And she was that girl. And then she turned it into a career. So do you think that that's what she was gunning for?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it just didn't
She wanted
pan
to be
out?
like Rebel Wilson.
Mm.
Which Rebel Wilson's living her best life now.
From what I hear.
She's married and doing her own thing these
And
days.
still Australian.
And still Australian. She was one of those Ozempic people.
Yeah.
Got the bobblehead. Anyway, I also feel like Hairspray deserves an honorable mention because it's not a good movie. I don't think it's so bad that it comes back around and is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good movie.
I think that everyone involved in the movie really gave it their all.
I would believe that.
That's worth something. Did Zac Efron actually sing his parts, or did he bring in Drew for that too?
I think he sung in this one because he sang in High School Musicals 2 and 3.
Huh. Link Larkin in Hairspray.
Sorry.
Queen Latifah, Michelle Pfeiffer, Christopher Walken, Amanda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christopher Walken ends up with John Travolta.
Mm.
It's a deeply bizarre movie. But yeah, Battlefield Earth is considered one of his worst.
I believe it.
They were nominated for a handful of both Razzies and Stinkers. I don't know what a Stinker award is. They won several. But my absolute favorite of the Razzies that this thing won were Worst Picture of the Decade. Travolta was nominated for Worst Actor of the Decade.
Of the decade.
Of the decade, yeah. And my absolute favorite, this movie won Worst Screen Couple, which was awarded to John Travolta and anyone sharing the screen with him.
That's not very nice.
No, it isn't, but it's really funny.
Wait, so worst actor of the decade, he won that?
He won Worst Actor and was nominated for Worst Actor of the Decade.
So this movie was released in 2000.
Mhm.
So were they just hedging their bets on there would be no other worse performances for the next 10 years? Or is it because it was probably filmed in like 98, 99, it was for the 90s?
No, so they circled back. So a lot of the Razzies and stuff and like the stinkers and stuff that they were nominated for were in 2000 when the original movie came out. But in 2010 was when they brought back all of the decades.
Oh.
So they had some beef with this movie. But yeah, there was supposed to be a sequel in 2003.
Okay.
I don't know if that one would have also been based on a book. I don't think so.
Battlefield Mars. Battlefield Uranus.
Boo.
That's what you get after Taco Bell.
This is why we can't have nice things. So it was supposed to have a sequel in 2002, and then they pushed it back for a year until 2003, and then they decided that because of how awful everyone thought Battlefield Earth was, that they were just not going to do it. And I feel like that one had to have been bankrolled by John Travolta. There's no way that movie was getting a sequel.
No.
Also, is Forrest Whitaker a Scientologist?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know. I just saw him in the movie Payphone with Colin Farrell. Yeah, it's a thriller.
Okay.
About a PR guy that is being held hostage in a payphone by a sniper. Yeah, it's a decent movie. It's got some holes, but Forrest Whitaker is like the police chief.
Okay.
And they make mention of him getting some guy killed, and then that's it.
Oh.
And they never go back to it again. And like he's just coming back from leave for this incident, and then he's just like, "You're not gonna let happen. What happened to the last guy?" And then nothing ever comes of it.
Huh. Okay.
And the whole time, it's very distracting because the guy on the payphone, the sniper, is Kiefer Sutherland. It's very obviously Kiefer Sutherland, and then at the very end,
it's like
you
a
get
surprise reveal.
A little glimpse, and is that Kiefer Sutherland? Yeah.
It was Jack Bauer the whole time.
Oh, it's on Max, I think.
Okay.
It's worth checking out for A Way to Kill, just over an hour.
I will keep that in mind. I have a million things to watch that I think would be
Phone booth, not
Phone
payphone.
booth.
Phone booth.
okay. That's lost to time.
Yeah, but
What is a phone booth anymore?
But he's on a payphone in a phone booth in New York City. He gets attacked by some hookers.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a guy that's attacking because he has to stay in this phone booth. He's got like, oh Lord, the more I break this down, the worse it is.
Yeah.
He's got a laser sight on him, but then this other guy starts hassling him, and he's like, "You better get him away from there, or I'm gonna take the shot. You want me to take him out? You want me to take him out?" And this dude, so the sniper gets him in the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the quietest shot ever. And then he just, like a little pool of blood on his back, and then he just falls on the ground. This whole time, all these people see this guy fighting with Colin Farrell, and they're face to face. And then this guy gets shot in the back, and then everyone's like, "We saw you shoot him. We saw you shoot him. So just admit it. Just admit that you shot him." It's just, yeah.
Oh.
It's one of those movies you can't break it down.
Yeah.
It's just be glad
more
you
you
got to
dig into it,
experience it,
yeah.
and then, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that does feel very on brand for this episode.
It fits this category. It does, yeah.
That, everything from the CGI, the casting, the premise, everything about it, about Battlefield Earth is just terrible.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a little bit wrong because I didn't watch the whole movie. I'm just going off everything that I've read about it because I couldn't watch the movie.
What if nobody actually made it past the first 20 minutes and the last hour 10 is just the greatest masterpiece ever put to film?
I would grant you that possibility if it weren't for John Travolta being the lead.
Does he have an accent? Seems like he'd have an accent in that one.
No.
The dreads, the nose rings.
Oof.
No,
What
he just
accent
sounds
do you
like
think
John
he would have?
Travolta.
Yeah.
Hey, Forrest, why are you doing this to me?
Oh, God. Terrible.
Does Mr. Cotter make an appearance? Like in a flashback?
I never watched that show.
You never watch Welcome Back, Cotter?
No.
That's where he got his start.
It's well before my time.
Well, it was well
Well,
before mine
your
too.
time, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Almost all things with John Travolta, I think, belong on this list.
Pulp Fiction.
Never mind. Belong on the Razzie list, not the So Bad They're Good. Pulp
Face
Fiction
Off.
is great. I'm not a face-off person.
Saturday Night Fever.
Okay. I did
Urban
like
Cowboy. Grease.
It's a 50. His early days were fine. It was
Yes.
when he moved on to like the Scientology stuff and the pilot stuff and just his new age stuff is just it's bad.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Everything like I'm gonna say post 2000.
So the millennium really did him dirty.
Yeah.
Because he got a huge resurgence with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Everyone forgot he existed, and then all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
Michael was a good movie. He was an angel.
Yeah. I've definitely seen that one. That was one of Greg's favorites, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Not a fan of John Travolta.
Speaking of Greg, our uncle, I don't know how I haven't mentioned this before, but I told Emily that Greg had his nipples pierced. I didn't know if it
Just
was
one.
It was just one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was taken aback by that.
Why?
I don't know. She doesn't know him,
That's fair.
but
It feels on brand for him.
it does, yeah. So, hey, Greg.
Is he one of our listeners?
I don't think so.
I
don't
wouldn't-
think so.
I wouldn't
We
think so.
we have our listener in the somewhere floating around in the Atlantic, but
Floating around in the Atlantic? Are they just like
well,
on a remote island somewhere? Is Amelia Earhart listening to our podcast?
I don't think it's anywhere near Howland Island, but we do, according to our analytics,
Mhm.
we have a listener from the Russian Federation.
Oh, okay.
But on the map, there's no dot anywhere near Russia, but we do have a dot in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm assuming we're hot with Russian submariners.
Oh, I love that for us. I think
It's pretty divisive right now.
that's fair. We
Hey.
want listeners. We're politically neutral.
If we had Ukrainian people listening to our stuff, we would shout that out too. But right now, as it stands,
Mhm.
we're hot in Russia right now. So Zelensky, get on it.
Okay. That's a take you can have.
What else has he got going on?
Not saying thank you at the White House.
Oh.
What a fun year this has been already. All right. So my next one is Out of the Mind of Lorne Michaels, or it's under his production studio at least.
Mm-hmm.
It is also one of the lowest rated things on IMDb or Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
guess?
Yeah.
It's Pat.
It's what?
Pat?
No.
It's not Pat?
No.
Oh. You not know about Pat?
No.
It was a skit from early 90s. I don't remember what actress it was, but she was sexually androgynous. And
Okay.
everything she said was very sexually androgynous. Like you couldn't tell if you were speaking to a man or a woman.
Okay.
And that was the whole gag. But
Oh.
that was a movie. They turned that skit into a movie, and it's gone down as one of the worst SNL movies.
Oh. I missed an opportunity. This one has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's her name?
This is Julia Sweeney.
Yep. The skits were fine. It just wasn't a premise that could hold up for an entire movie. And I think by the time the movie came out, it was a pretty tired premise anyways.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, I did not include that one on the list. Didn't know it existed. But it is a different SNL alum.
Yeah? What is it?
Master of Disguise.
I have an issue with that.
Okay. So, first of all, I do love this movie. I
I
did
do too.
rewatch it relatively recently, and I can see why it has a 1 on Rotten Tomatoes. It is...
A 1 seems a little aggressive.
When was the last time you watched this movie?
Well, not that long ago.
I think a 1 feels fitting.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but quality-wise,
With the
it's deserved. The main character's name in this movie is Pistachio Disguisey. It's not exactly Oscar-worthy
Become
cinema.
another person. Become another person. Come on. No, that movie is great.
It's a great movie, but it is cheesy as hell.
Why not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Fun fact, that was filmed on 9/11.
That was one of my fun facts
Oh.
about this movie.
Oh, sorry.
That's not a fun fact, but that's one of my facts about this movie.
Sorry about that. And I just Dana Carvey in a bald cap and a turtle costume turning on the news. Dana, did you hear? Turtle.
Do you think he did it in character? He reacted and
I would hope so. I would hope
he was the cherry pie at the time,
that
actually.
Dana would bring some levity, some comedy to the situation.
He just like popped his head in the costume. Just sunk in.
He's one I'd love to meet.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if they want to get us on Fly on the Wall, love to be there.
I would love to meet both him and David Spade.
I love David Spade.
I'm a little hit or miss on David Spade. I think, like, performance-wise, there have been a decent amount of not great things. I don't like the sequel that he made for Joe Dirte, my apologies.
Yeah, it's just I saw it before I had ever seen It's a Wonderful Life. Like, I knew the synopsis, like I knew the trope
Sure.
of following the It's a Wonderful Life pattern. But yeah, I think I haven't seen it since then. I don't think that I would altogether enjoy it now, but Joe Dirt 1 holds a very special place in my heart.
Sure, yeah. I bet you got that fireworks speech memorized.
Oh, yeah, I got it on a t-shirt. I wear it every 4th of July. We watch Joe Dirt every 4th of July.
As you should.
As we should.
Also, the Dad movie that he did, where he was basically still Joe Dirt recently.
Oh, yeah, it was a Netflix movie.
Mm-hmm.
Dad of the Year?
Yeah, I think
Something
so.
like that.
That one was not good.
No, The Wrong Missy was a good movie.
I liked that one.
I mean, any of the movies where he's like the fish out of water, but like when he's the straight man, it's good.
Well, yeah, but it's been hard for him to be the straight man since he lost
Since he's
his
so gay. Is that what you're saying?
fat guy in a little coat. No, not because he's so gay.
You heard it here first. She thinks that David Spade is a homosexual.
Also, he did one of the most iconic roles, which is Cusco, Emperor's New Groove.
Cusco. That's a good one.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever.
Grade A.
But I mean, if you go through like Lorne Michaels' filmography, I think that Master of Disguise was one of the weaker ones because you're putting it up against like the Austin Powerses, the Wayne's Worlds, the old school.
Did Lorne Michaels, was that Austin Powers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense just because of the...
Because Dr. Evil is Lorne Michaels.
Yeah. Night at the Roxbury, you a fan?
Not particularly. I don't like Chris Kattan.
Why not?
I have never been a fan. I don't know why. I don't know if I don't like the things he's in.
Have you
or
ever
like
seen
him
Corky
as an
Romano?
No.
Corky Romano's funny.
What is that?
His family is they're mafiosos, and they need to send him in undercover as an FBI agent.
Okay.
That's a good movie. You should check it out.
I don't know. I was just never.
He did something on SNL, and apparently it destroyed his back, and he wasn't able to work after that.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. After this episode is over, I'll have to figure out what happened to Chris Kattan. I'm curious.
There you go.
But yeah, I think that Lorne Michaels put out a lot of really great like 90s, early 2000s comedies, and I don't think that Master of Disguise was on the same caliber. Granted, I mean, I definitely think it beats out like Superstar and a certain amount of the Lorne Michaels things. They can't all be stellar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kid's movie, so you have to look at it through that lens.
Sure, yeah.
And, yeah. I would watch it tonight. Maybe I will.
I would too. It's a good movie, but it's also a really bad movie.
That's fair. That's fair. What else you got?
The Room.
Never seen it.
I know. I feel like we've had this discussion many times at this point, but The Room is one of the like quintessential, I think, so bad it's good movies.
I'm not gonna do my impression because you said it sounds like somebody else. So
What impression?
where I say it's tearing me apart, Lisa, and then you're like, oh, that's I don't even remember who you said. It was.
I don't remember who I said it sounded like.
Well,
Oh, you sounded like King Julian from Madagascar. Please do
yeah,
it.
no.
Okay, fine. Well, in that case, dear listeners, because he doesn't care about you guys as much as I do, his impression of Tommy Wiseau sounds like King Julian from Madagascar. It's entertaining.
And I disagree, but you know what?
There's only one way that we could make this a poll on Instagram, on your story. Our story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll save it for the end.
Wow. All right.
Now you got to hang around till the end of the episode.
So, The Room was a movie that is just surrounded by a lot of weird stuff. It was made by a phenomenally weird man
Very eccentric.
with very questionable origins. He's really dodgy about like where he got his money and where he came from. Like the name that he uses, Tommy Wiseau, is a name that he picked up when he moved to the US. And it was just because he had seen these like when he first got here, he had seen someone selling like bird toys on the street. And so he decided that his new last name was going to be Wiseau, which is just, I think, bird in French or something like that. And so we don't know any of the origins of Tommy Wiseau.
He's a mystery.
Yeah. The best thing about this movie is that there is an experience if you go to see it in a theater. So it still makes its rounds at like indie theaters and stuff every single year. I know because I've gone to 3 of them, I believe. I have met Tommy Wiseau 3 times now. He's a very bizarre man. He always wears an excess of belts. Very interesting. I owned a pair of boxers made by his brand that were surprisingly well made.
Huh. What's his brand called?
It's just like Tommy, not Hilfiger. Although,
owner for our airplane fella had on Tommy Wiseau because he got confused.
that would be so great. You should have spoken to this man. What if it was Tommy Wiseau?
I should have. Next time I will know that I need to speak to him.
But yeah, so the watching experience of this movie is really fun in the same way that like Rocky Horror is really fun to watch in theaters because it becomes this like there's a lot of weird like rituals and stuff that you're supposed to do with it. This isn't a cult.
How dare you talk to me like that?
Sorry.
You should tell me everything.
Sorry, I'm saving that for the end.
Oh my god. There is really no plot to this movie. There's a bunch of like just random scenes that felt like it was written by ChatGPT, but decades before ChatGPT.
So it's not even contained to a room?
It is not.
It
is. It's a bizarre movie. I definitely recommend watching it because I don't even really know how to explain any of it. It's one of those like fever dream kind of movies. But if you go to see it in theaters, someone always brings a football and everyone brings plastic spoons. Because there is an inordinate amount of like play and catch scenes with a football because there's a kid who's supposed to be like, I think he's supposed to be like 10 or something, but he's very clearly like 18 years old. This is a whole adult. And all of the background in this movie has like picture frames and stuff, and every picture frame is just pictures of spoons. And so the ritual behind this, if you're watching it in a theater, is that you're supposed to throw spoons at the screen as soon as you see the picture frames of just random cutlery in the background shots.
And the spoons are never explained.
Nope. Nothing in this movie is ever explained. If you are looking for explanations, you don't understand the room. It is, however, not the only movie this man has made. He made another one called Best Friends, in which Tommy Wiseau is a mortician.
Oh.
And Greg Sestero, the other guy that's in the room, is a homeless man who comes to work for Tommy Wiseau and starts selling tooth fillings.
Is that Mark?
Yes. And so it's a that one I do actually recommend. It's an interesting watch in a better way than The Room.
Okay.
On top of Best Friends in The Room, there is a movie made about the making of The Room with the Franco brothers. So Dave Franco and James Franco, called The Disaster Artist. Which
was that any good? I didn't watch it because I hadn't seen The Room.
Yeah. So I watched The Disaster Artist, I think, before I watched The Room. And then I didn't. And then after that, it came to Dallas, where Tommy Wiseau was doing this whole like screening thing. And so he went, and it was actually it was a lot of fun. But The Disaster Artist was pretty good. It goes into like how just like bizarre this man is. I don't think that Tommy Wiseau had anything to do with Disaster Artist, though. I think it was all Greg Sestero with the Francos.
How was it received by Tommy? Is there anything on that?
I don't think he had any issues with it. But his presence online is as strange as the rest of him. So like he'll just, in the same way that like Shaq will tweet out like at Knott's Berry Farm, that's me yelling. That's kind of the caliber of tweets that you get from Tommy Wiseau. We don't know how he feels about anything.
National treasures.
National treasures, yeah. But we don't even know what nationality. We don't know what nation he's a treasure of. Shockingly, this movie has a 24 on Rotten Tomatoes. That is 24 times the quality of Master of Disguise.
That's just not fair, but...
It is not. I absolutely agree with you.
But okay.
What's crazy, though, because I was looking up all the like stats on these movies because I was trying to figure out like how to order them. If I should do like their Rotten Tomato scores, their profit or loss or whatever, or just like the year that they came out. And I ended up doing the year they came out because I didn't realize that Master of Disguise profited $30 million.
As it should.
As it should, sure. But it profited $30 million. And The Room only lost, I think, $800,000.
What was the budget, do you know?
$6 million.
Oh.
But
Okay.
considering it wasn't backed by a studio or anything, it was just like a dude who put out a movie.
So he just... I'm sure he's made up that $800,000 since then.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially after The Disaster Artist.
He's playing the long game.
He is. He's been playing 3D chess. Respect to Tommy Wiseau.
4D chess.
4D chess.
Everyone plays 3D chess.
I play chess on my phone, so technically it's 2D chess.
Okay, well, nerd. Look, Magnus Carlton over here. Magnus.
What?
What's his name? Magnus. What's like the Grand Wizard? I don't.
Whoa, okay.
What are they called?
Not Grand Wizards.
I think Dumbledore was kind of a grand wizard. I liked him. He was good at what he did. Magnus
Carlson,
yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
should I have said? Bobby Fischer? Bobby Fischer over here. Nothing?
No. How do you know so many professional chess players? You just called me a nerd?
Do you not know the story about I kind of did a deep dive into it a couple years ago because they were playing virtually, I think. No, maybe they were playing in person. Anyways, look up the story. I don't have all the details readily available, but there were vibrating butt plugs in play to cheat.
Huh. I'm not going to look up the story.
Look up the story.
I won't.
It's worth it.
I'm good.
It's worth it.
That is as much information as I could possibly glean from whatever happened here.
Some fella was cheating by using a vibrating butt plug.
Yeah, no, I got that one.
Okay, well, there you go.
Noted, yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to follow that up, so I'm just going to push on. So my next movie is, I think definitely my favorite on the list. Cat in the Hat.
I quote Cat in the Hat all the time.
I do too.
You dirty hoe. I'm sorry, baby. You know I love you.
It's such a great movie. So the reason that this one made the list so bad it's good is because I think it was well regarded amongst audiences. And also I have a soft spot for Mike Myers. I think I've liked everything that I've seen him in.
Have you seen The Pentaverant? His Netflix show?
All right. I stand corrected. Most of the things I like him in.
Love Guru. Aces.
Mariska Hargitay. But no, I like Mike Myers in most things, but this movie caused the Dr. Seuss estate to refuse any other live action movies based on his IP.
Crazy.
It is, because especially that was following right after actually, was it right before Grinch?
No, it was after.
I was about to say, because I thought
Grinch was 2000, Cat in the Hat was like 2002, 2003.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
That sounds right. But yeah, this movie was so bad that the Dr. Seuss estate refused to do any more live action movies. Which, I mean, is not...
2003.
Okay. It's not a terrible loss just because I think those were the only ones that really could have done live action. Like, I don't think that I want to see, like, the live action Lorax.
Yeah. Although, Danny DeVito in a bodysuit with a gigantic mustache.
The ending scene of the Lorax is so bizarre because the Lorax just like picks himself up by his butt and just like flies off.
Yeah. It's an allegory.
Floats away.
An allegory for you got to pull yourself up by your butt and really attack the day.
That is
the butt is the new bootstraps. You could do
that ties back into the
my
the
chest
Bobby
story.
Fischer story, yeah.
No, you could do a live action Horton Hears a Who. Now.
I sincerely hope they don't do a live action Horton Hears a Who.
You couldn't when they did the ban from the 2003 Cat in the Hat film, but did you know that I was so excited for that movie to come out that I saved up my allowance to pay $30 in 2003 money to go pick up a copy of Cat in the Hat on DVD day one from Blockbuster?
Yeah. Okay.
Everything in that statement is so dated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it was full screen, like a chump.
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
I did the same thing with The Dark Knight. So I saw The Dark Knight probably 4 times in theaters.
Damn, all right.
And then I pre-ordered it from Best Buy, picked it up at midnight on a school night.
Ooh.
Because movies, I think DVDs drop on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Monday night at midnight. I picked it up. I watched it 3 times, went straight to school.
Oh, okay.
That was a miserable day, but worth it.
The only movie I think I've seen that many times in theaters was The Hunger Games, the original.
Yeah.
Because I watched it when it first came out, because I like already just loved the books. I watched it with Mom. I watched it with Dad. I watched it with
Wiffle ball bat.
Toos. In a boat with a goat, yeah. And like 2 separate sets of friends. So I saw that movie 4 separate times in theaters.
No, I saw Inception 3 times in theaters.
Okay.
2 during its first run, and then me and you went to go see it in IMAX one time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like, I don't know, 5 years after it released.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a lot of the reason that so many of these movies are early 2000s is because we stopped doing movies that were like rewatchable in theaters.
Yeah.
We've just lost our artistic integrity, I think.
Yeah, there hasn't been a movie, because when you go to a movie, it's got to be a movie that's worth seeing, like as an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, you have to have the crowds, like you want to experience it with other people. And 3, it was reasonably priced.
Yeah. So
I think the last time that I saw a movie that hit all 3 of those marks was probably like Endgame Part 2.
That's what I was going to say, is that I think we stopped having like things that were worth the midnight release.
Like events, yeah.
Yeah. Like I used to go to all of the Avengers movies. The Avengers, the Captain America, unfortunately Man of Steel. At one point I racked up 4 separate copies of that movie. Like
Yeah.
they just kept getting gifted to me, and I feel like I have done something wrong. That was the vibe I was putting out.
Any of them Steelbook?
2 of them were, yeah.
Nice.
One of them was Superman shaped.
That's how you know you're a real collector. It's when you got the Steelbook.
I also miss Steelbooks. I don't know if they still make them. I haven't bought a DVD in forever, but
I think they do. I used to get mine at Target.
yeah. The last one I bought, I think, was Parasite. That would have been like 2018, maybe.
Yeah. No, I hate the shift away from physical media, especially when it comes to movies.
I hate subscription services so much.
Yeah. And then like you see something and you're like, well, I'm not really in the mood for that right now, but I will be later. And then you go back to look for it and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen with a Blu-ray or a DVD. And then
This
even
is
same
true.
things, if you, like you can say, well, I have a copy of it because I have the digital.
Yeah.
But then whatever service loses its rights to that digital and then it's gone and you already paid for it.
Yeah. Look
So.
at Dogma. The only way to watch that forever, for a really long time, was to watch it on YouTube,
Bootleg, yeah.
where it was in 144p.
Yeah,
It was not of high quality, and I'm so excited to see that in theaters once it comes back.
I am too.
It's my favorite of the Kevin Smithiverse,
Yeah. More than Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
for sure.
You know the dude from Clerks is on the floor right now?
The
The guy with
Rob
the
Lowe
circle goatee?
show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's actually for like the first half of the season, he had the most spaces, so he was like in
Okay.
the top spot.
I feel like I would do really good on that show.
I do too.
It
Except
feels so easy.
do you remember that Shane Gillis sketch about where he doesn't want to misname the black people?
Yes.
Yeah. That has happened, except it's like liberal white women.
Oh, I've seen those clips.
And
They're so funny.
It's just, oh, I know her name. I know it. It's like right there. And then they
And you
skip, and
can't
then they get
guess,
it, and
yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's what they do that all the time, which
Yeah.
gets on my nerves. Like when they see it, they're like, oh yeah, I knew that. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
You're just trying to save face. You failed.
You racist.
You racist. I would so go see Cat in the Hat if it went back in theaters, though. There's no possible reason that it would. They're doing.
Unless Mike Myers dies.
How dare you say those things out loud?
I'm sorry, but that would be a reason for them to put Cat in the Hat back in theaters.
Man.
It's got enough of the like the internet hype behind it that it could be re-released.
Actually, I'm curious if Cat in the Hat is streamable, because if it is, I'm rewatching it soon.
I'm sure it is somewhere.
It's such a good movie.
If not, I got the full screen DVD if you want it.
I feel like, oh, it's on Peacock. Cool.
That makes sense. Fire.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
So many moments.
It's such a good movie.
I'll gotcha, and I'll make it look like a bloody accident.
That was the one I was trying to think of. The Cupcakeinator.
But yeah, as far as Dr. Seuss, I don't know. Like there's all these movies that try to toe the line between kids can appreciate it, but all adults aren't bored out of their minds the whole time. So there's stuff for them too. I think that based on Dr. Seuss's origins, maybe back off a little on all of the this is supposed to be for children stuff.
Sure.
And just chill out.
Yeah. I think we stopped in a good place with the Dr. Seuss movies, though, because I don't think there's any topping Jim Carrey as the Grinch or Mike Myers as the Cat in the Hat.
Probably not, no.
I think the Danny DeVito thing was decent. I didn't really care for the Lorax.
Yeah. It's real preachy.
It felt, a little too self-righteous, I think.
Yeah. Oh no, something with Taylor Swift in it is self-righteous? No way.
Whoa there.
She's not here. I can say whatever I want.
Uh-huh. She'll hear you. I thought Horton Hears a Who was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jim Carrey and Steve Carell, can't go wrong. in the same the Bruce Almighty vein.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty is where Steve Carell found his streak. Because was that before 40-Year-Old Virgin?
No, 40-Year-Old Virgin was his first thing.
Oh, okay.
Which is crazy to come out of the gate with a movie like that.
Yeah. You want to talk about movies that are so bad they're bad? Heaven Almighty.
Oof. Sequel.
Yep. That should have never happened. I saw that movie in a theater that I used to go to all throughout high school, and it was before it was bought out by AMC and refurbished. It cut out halfway through.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, you can hang around or we'll give you a refund.
Mm-hmm.
I think I stuck it out.
And you regretted it?
I did. Yeah, it wasn't worth it.
That movie, I always mix up, like, plot-wise with Furry Vengeance. The
Brendan Fraser.
The Brendan Fraser movie, yeah.
Yeah, not Fraser. Though if you ask him, he won't correct you because he's just that stand-up of a guy.
Yeah. Is that a good thing if you don't correct people?
I've
always been on the fence about that because I have people mispronounce my name all the time, and at some point, it feels both rude that I'm correcting you and rude that you don't just learn my name.
Actually, it's pronounced.
It's only 3 syllables.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's that tough.
You should have added hyphens in your name. Like a Ladasha. Just hyphen A.
But there's no way that you could put dashes in my name that it would be pronounced properly with the way that it's spelled right now.
Between the...
Well, I guess between the A and the N and then the Y and the A.
Y and the A, yeah.
Huh. Okay, well, I'm still not doing that.
Well, I'm just saying, if you needed a rebrand...
I will keep that in mind.
Shadash-nice-dash-L.
Solid. I will keep that in mind. Maybe that'll be my artist name.
Yeah.
Whenever I start rapping.
There you go.
All right. So, the last big point that I had was the most recent one because there's a pretty decent stretch. I think it's like 20 years between The Cat in the Hat and this one. And that is Madam Web.
I think, first off, movie was awful.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen overdubbing so bad in a movie. But I think, what's her face?
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson. I don't like her.
Yeah.
She's a terrible actress.
Sure.
Which
Nepo baby.
Yeah, which that's fine. Like, she knows it. We knows it. Whatever. But I think her coming out and mean girling the whole movie and just like, yeah, this movie is trash.
Yeah.
It was a paycheck. And then, well, can you name all the Spider-Man movies? And then she says, like, Spider-Man and the Goblet of Fire, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think that did help its reputation with turning it into more of a comedy than this serious.
Joke, yeah.
Yeah.
I was writing out notes for like all of the thoughts that I had about Madam Web, and I didn't really know how to organize them because there's just so many things that are wrong with this movie. The first point that I had was the villain, because the villain is just ridiculous. There's no real reason that he's the villain, except for the fact that he's had like visions that Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, and whoever the other two are.
Wow. So you know the white girls' names. Interesting.
What are the other two's names?
What?
The other two people that are the main ones in the movie.
Oh, so you're asking me to come in and clean up your racist mess?
This is not a racist thing.
Well,
the two big names that were in this movie. I don't know who the villain was either. The two big names that were promoting this movie were Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, and I just think it's interesting that you don't know Celeste O'Connor's name.
Tell me, first of all, you can't use that in this context.
Isabella Merced and Celeste O'Connor. Mm-hmm. Also, very prominent.
Tell me one other thing either of them have been in.
Very unbelievable.
Without IMDb'ing it.
Google's not IMDb.
Without Googling it.
I'm sorry that these persons of color don't have enough credits to their name.
You're impossible.
See how these arguments work?
Anyway, the villain is just so poorly dubbed. I don't know why they didn't have people in like better qualified people doing the ADR.
It looks like a kung fu movie from the 80s.
It's terrible, yeah. They had a crazy budget for really shitty effects.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the like flashbacks and flash forwards and stuff are just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
They're Los Arañas, because that is the way it is pronounced the entire movie. Los Arañas are just like Peter Parker's first costume, but they're just like wrapped up in red rope.
Yeah.
Which is a choice they made.
It was definitely a choice.
They randomly shoehorned in Uncle Ben's death.
Had no business being in the movie.
And it is Ben Wyatt.
Yes.
R.I.P.
It is Mark Scout.
Is that Severance?
Yes, it is Severance. Mark S. I bet he wishes he could sever being in this movie. Am I right?
I feel like it was a fun thing to be a part of. Maybe not for Dakota Johnson, clearly, because I've watched the press tour, but...
You know who hated it? Coca-Cola.
I bet they did.
Literally.
Actually, no, they had to have loved it, because Pepsi was not well represented.
Every scene has a Pepsi logo in it.
The big boss battle at the end, the dude dies because the P and the S fall on him.
He was just missing the E-N-I.
I think, so in Dakota Johnson's like perspective, she said that the reason that the movie was so bad was because there was a bunch of rewrites after she had read it. So she signed up for basically a completely different movie. And I think that makes a lot of sense if you watch the movie as a whole, because none of the choices that they make align. Like, none of the plot points make any sense with any of the other plot points.
No. Also, maybe don't hire 30-year-olds to be high school seniors. Also, these are girls are in high school. Maybe don't sexualize them so much.
Yeah. I think...
Also, maybe when you're sexualizing these high schoolers, don't put them in Catholic schoolgirl skirts and uniforms.
Yeah, the whole thing was deeply weird. And I think that, like, Dakota Johnson didn't really fit in the role, but I also couldn't see anyone doing that successfully and making it a watchable movie.
No.
Like, it's just so poorly written that I don't think there was really any winning. I think that, so, like, Dakota Johnson is not a top-tier actress or anything, but I liked her in Peanut Butter Falcon and Bad Times at the El Royale, which was not a great movie, but...
It wasn't.
I liked her in it.
No, I had high hopes for that one. Chris Hemsworth.
Unfortunately, Cynthia Erivo. It wasn't unfortunate at the time, but... Oh,
I didn't realize that was her. Jeff Bridges? He's like a preacher, I think.
I think so, yeah.
A preacher with a past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bad movie.
Also, I was watching because I haven't seen this movie since it was first in theaters, but I was watching the pitch meeting video for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept bringing up, like, the things that just have no explanation. And the one that stuck with me was, how the hell did she get from Peru back to the States?
Yeah.
It's just, like, so at the beginning of this movie, her mother is incredibly pregnant and is, like, searching for this spider that would theoretically cure the terminal disease that she has. She finds it, is killed for it, has the baby, is killed for it. And Dakota Johnson is just an adult in New York City. There's no explanation of how she got from point A to point B. Los Arañas did not get her back to New York City.
They did. They flew her up to Rio. Mm-hmm. No, they walked her up to Rio, then flew her to New York City, and just dropped her off in an orphanage. I guess. I don't know.
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And also...
And isn't she wanted, like... Isn't she a wanted fugitive at one point?
For the entire movie, and yet she can still travel internationally, yes.
Yeah.
Because she steals a cab and 3 children. And they still let her in and out of the country.
A very easily identifiable cab as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. You should check it out if you get a chance.
One of the most ridiculous things, because there's just a whole slew of ridiculous things about this movie, is that there aren't really superpowers in any of it.
No, you get one flashback forward, and it's like 20 seconds long.
So if flash forwards are her only superpower, but she's just like flashing forward to the crazy things that might happen, that's just anxiety. That's not a superpower. She's just thinking of the worst case scenario, and it happens to happen.
If your mindset is, I have anxiety, I'll make the best of it, then to see it as a superpower is, if you think about it, it's kind of something.
It's kind of something, and that something is stupid.
Oh, hot garbage movie.
On the like Dakota Johnson like press tour thing though, how have there been so many weird promo tours? I don't remember the last like normal one that I saw. Like Another Simple Favor was weird and awkward
because they hate each
Blake
other.
Lively and Anna Kendrick hate each other. Why is everyone being so like public about their feuds with either the movie itself or their co-stars? Because Don't Worry Darling was weird because Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh hate each other. And Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine.
I don't know. So people are talking about it, I guess. I don't know.
Wicked was a really weird press tour.
It was.
Not for the same reason as those.
No, they were just all
They
over
loved
each other. And it was uncomfortable for everyone involved except for them.
Deeply bizarre.
Also, during a press junket for Don't Worry Darling, Olivia Munn was served divorce papers.
Wild.
What did I say, Munn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, Wild was
There's too many Olivias.
served divorce papers. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's all publicity.
Yeah.
I'll get you talking about stuff you wouldn't give two cares about anyways.
Sure, yeah. The last point that I had for Madam Web was how absolutely insane it was that she got hit with a firework in the face, is somehow paralyzed and blinded by it, and so she turns into Professor X at the end of the movie.
It was one of those 180 fireworks. Goes in your eye, turns around, hits you in the spine.
It's so strange. Everything about that movie was as weird as Dakota Johnson.
Thank God we had that weird scene where she was teaching these grown-ass women CPR. Otherwise, she wouldn't have made it.
How fortunate.
I gotta watch that again. I gotta check it out.
In the pitch meeting, he calls it 3-shadowing. He was like, "Don't you mean 4-shadowing?" He was like, "No, it's not good enough for that."
Oh, pitch meeting, Ryan George. Check him out.
Okay, so that was all I had. But a couple of honorable mentions were Morbius, Wonder Woman 1984, anything with Nick Cage, and all of the Fast and Furious movies post Paul Walker. I miss when they were just like robbing trucks for TVs
TV
with built-in
VCR combos.
Yeah. It was a simpler time.
It was.
It was a better time.
It was. I don't think I could ask a random person off the street, "Hey, do you remember what the plot of Fast 8 was?" No one's going to be able to tell me. But
they were on ice in that one, I believe.
Oh, with the submarine that pops up through the...
Sure. I know there was ice. And I think there was Charlize Theron.
And where The Rock punches a missile.
He what?
There's a missile skidding across this frozen lake coming right at them. He leans out the side of this vehicle and just punches it away.
Oh my God, that's awesome. He punches a missile.
Oh. So, I mean, at least with those movies, they know what they're about. They know we're not watching it for the missile or for the plot line. We're watching it for the missile punching.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Now we are. They went to space in like a Subaru.
And
to be fair, if we had lost Tyrese up there.
I definitely think that movies so bad they're good are necessary. so that when good movies come out, there's something to compare them to.
Sure.
Because you can't just compare a amazing movie to a bad movie. You have to have that middle ground. So movies so bad they're good.
Sure.
Really let the great ones shine.
Yeah. I mean, I would, aside from Battlefield Earth, I would rewatch all of these movies. I won't make it past 20 minutes of Battlefield Earth. Partly because I can't stand John Travolta.
Yeah.
Present day John Travolta.
I'll check it out. I'll get back to y'all about it.
Yeah.
I'll take one for the team.
When is the Dianetics movie coming?
I had no clue that was a thing.
Oh, I don't think it is, but I'm asking when the Dianetics movie is coming out. Oh, do I have to be like a tier something in Scientology to be able to watch it?
Probably.
I think Tom Cruise is in it with his lifts.
Maybe. He'd be running through it, running from his gay thoughts. All right. Since we've appeared to have made it to the end of this episode, the part you've all been on pins and needles for. Let's see. Well, let's get a baseline. Son of a biscuit. Stop it. Okay. Here we go. Okay.
To me like that. You should tell me everything. How dare you talk to me like that? You should tell me everything.
I can't talk right now.
Why, Lisa? Why, Lisa? Please talk to me, please.
For those who don't know, this is the scene from The Room.
You're part of my life. You are everything. I could not go.
Is this the one that you said sounds like King Julian, or is it the...
It's You're Tearing Me Apart, Lisa.
on without you, Lisa.
You're scaring me.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
What?
You're... I had it. I had it. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
That was a little more Schwarzenegger than King Julian this
I
time.
could... You're tearing me apart, Lisa. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. What else I got?
That's a solid Rainier Wolfcastle.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Hold on.
Who was that one?
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. No, that was real European.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Go back and what episode was that? Do you remember?
I don't know.
Does that sound like King Julian?
That one didn't sound like King Julian. The last one did sound like King Julian.
Okay, well,
I'll find it.
go back and find it. We'll put a poll, and yeah, you can finally prove my rude co-host wrong.
And on that note, do you have any final thoughts?
Other than we need these movies around to make the great movies shine even more, don't be afraid to make a bad movie. But if you do make a bad movie, just talk nonstop crap about it. Make it the butt of the joke. And then people might appreciate your movie afterwards.
That's fair. Maybe you'll have a renaissance like The Room.
Maybe. What about you?
I was trying to think of a good movie quote. I don't have one. I don't have any final thoughts.
You can't think of a single movie quote.
From one of the movies that we were just talking about.
Not a single Cat in the Hat quote.
No.
Not a single Pistachio Disguisey quote.
No, my mind went completely blank.
Like when he's talking about wanting a woman with a big butt.
No, I don't remember the actual quote for that. I don't want to misquote it because, I'm apparently already racist.
Here, I'll find you one.
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
There you go. Your words of wisdom could be, hey, no matter what they say, you're always turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Okay, I'm stealing that one.
That's fine.
No matter what they say, you're always turtly enough for the Turtle Club.
And with that, we're out.
All right, we'll see you next time.